Okay, my first video blog from the hills of Budapest. Beautiful setting, very windy. I'm doing this in one take. There won't be any outtakes or bloopers. If there are, they'll actually be within the blog. I was just so excited though, I had to do this blog because I read a really fascinating book around big data. Now that will probably mark me out to be an immense geek. I suppose one thing I didn't find that exciting was the rather dry and insipid description of big data, which is something to do with massive data sets that can't be interrogated by usual tools or something like that. But what I did find particularly interesting is we've got all this data in the world that can actually be combined and sliced and diced to actually predict things that we could never have imagined. What I should say is that big data is not a new thing. There are a number of things that are actually driving it. So for example, 5 things. First of them is that we can put sensors on practically everything. We can collect so much more data routinely and cheaply. The second one is we actually are collecting a lot of data as byproducts of our everyday digital activities. So for example, banking, telecommunications, and even healthcare, where we're collecting information around ourselves. The third thing is storage. Storage is becoming cheap and widely available, so we can almost collect data on absolutely everything for the sake of it, thinking it might be useful in the future because we can just put it into storage very cheaply. The fourth thing is we have got complex tools and algorithms out there now which can combine absolutely huge data sets and slice and dice them to actually bring out meaningful correlations and make predictions. And the fifth one, again related to capability, is we've got as individuals and companies an increasing big data mindset to understand the potential of combining this big data and actually how to make predictions from it. A couple of healthcare related examples. One of them is using Google to predict the flu. Again, it's not a new example, but what I do find quite interesting is that keywords from a particular area can be combined that have got nothing at all related to the flu. So for example, you might find in a particular region, people who are searching for, I don't know, chocolate cake, there's more likelihood in that area that there's going to be an outbreak of flu. So that for me is particularly interesting. Another healthcare example is the likelihood that you and I will take our medications can be predicted based on certain variables such as where we live, how long we've lived there, and what car we drive. And this is pure correlation. So you might go out tomorrow and buy a very nice new car, replace your old one, but this doesn't mean it's more likely that you will take your medication as prescribed by your doctor. That's the very interesting thing, for me at least, call me a geek, about big data, is it tells us what's going to happen and it makes these exciting predictions, but it doesn't tell us why. That's not the data's job. Someone else can do that, academics or whatever, but the point is the data's there to actually make these predictions. In terms of all the industries out there, big data and the predictions that it can deliver, it's going to be massive across all of those industries. But for me, maybe I'm biased, but the most exciting advances are surely going to be within healthcare.